It's daily take time here as we bring in Geraldo Rivera. And, just wondering, good to see you, Geraldo, your thoughts on
You
this
too, Connell.
October 7th, 2 years later.
Well, you think in a very, melancholy, somber way about what happened, the horrified slaughter of Jews, the worst since the Holocaust, something that our children will live with and remember. It will something that will, I think, affect Jewish life, even in countries like the United States, where we've come to assume that, we're totally integrated. I think that what October 7th proved is that Jews are somehow different and have to sometimes fend for themselves. But at the same time, I don't want to be the bummer, because I really do believe, as I started saying last week as we were speaking about it, Connell, that this is different. This is different.
Right.
These peace talks, this movement toward some resolution, is different than any time. Really, than any time. I want to be so bold as to say since Oslo. Since the early 90s, where you had a situation where it really did seem as if they were going to carve out two states out of that little territory. But this isn't that. It isn't quite that dramatic. Doesn't seem to be a road to a two-state solution, but it does appear to be a road to a release of the hostages,
yes,
a release of the Palestinian lifers, even the murderers who are in prison in Israel, and from there, and the phased withdrawal of the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, from Gaza. What they do with Gaza, that I think will be an issue and a problem and a dilemma for the rest of our lives. I really, it'll be years from now before I believe that there'll be a resolution. But there really does seem to be movement. Even in the big picture, you have Kushner there, Witkoff, the U.S. side adequately represented. You got the boss of Hamas. You got the Qatari prime minister coming. He's their landlord. For goodness sake, if he can't force them into a deal, no one can. But I do believe in the fact that the Arab world, the Turkish delegation is there. The Egyptians are totally engaged. This is like a summit. It's more like a summit than a negotiation, but I think that this is good. And if I were, God forbid, if I was a hostage family, as I know you've been interviewing, I would be hopeful for the first time in a long time.
I've heard some of them say the same as you, that this time feels different. I mean, I had a former government spokesman for Israel on last hour, very, very skeptical, understandably so, about Hamas in general, over and over said that. And then I asked him that question at the end. I said, does it feel different to you, though, even though this time? He said, yeah, this time does still feel different. So, yeah, that's the positive side of it. President Trump was asked at the White House today in the Oval Office about, and his peace plan seems like it's been well received around the world. If there is an agreement, how's he going to essentially guarantee that, the agreement remains in place? Israel's side, I think, was what the question was about. But here's what the president said.
Primary guarantee is once this deal happens, if it does happen, look, they're in negotiations right now. We are going to do everything possible. We have a lot of power, and we're going to do everything possible to make sure everybody adheres to the deal.
There you go. So what would you say, Geraldo, about post-war Gaza if we get there?
Well, I think that Trump is the 100-pound gorilla in the room. You can't hide from him. Once he gets in his mind that he wants something to happen, he's got a track record where he, generally speaking, makes it happen. So I don't think the Hamas can run, but they can't hide. If they were to provoke the president with an irrational or unreasonable stance in these peace talks, and he will, I guarantee you, he will unleash Israel. He will, by doing, and this is the way he'll do it. He'll do it by wiping his hands. He'll go like this, wipe his hands of this process, say, I told you so, and then go to Bibi and say, okay, kid, you're in. To do your worst. And we've seen, and you've been showing over the last couple of days, the comparison photos of Gaza before and Gaza after. Yeah. There's not much more you could chop that place up. But 67 dead Palestinians That's a lot. And that's according to their authorities.
Right.
And of course, we remember the 1,200 Israelis who perished today and were tortured and raped and so forth.
Yeah, I have that on the screen here. 67,000 killed, impact of the war, 170,000 injured, 40,000 life-altering injuries. Gaza Ministry of Health is putting that out along with the Associated Press. The Ministry of Health, as we know, is run by Hamas, but those are the numbers that they've put out. AP, those are their numbers as well. It's been rough. Boy, but I hope you're right. I hope we do get it. I hope this time is different. I want to ask you about one other topic while you're on here for the Daily Take today, Geraldo,
okay.
and that would be Chicago, because now we know 200 members of the Texas National Guard are in, or at least near Chicago today. Kash Patel, FBI director, is going to be there, and a lot of this use of the Guard came up in the Pam Bondi hearing, the Attorney General going back and forth with the Senator from Illinois, Dick Durbin, earlier today on Capitol Hill. Here's another clip from that.
The word is, and I think it's been confirmed by the White House, they are going to transfer Texas National Guard units to the state of Illinois.
I wish you loved Chicago as much as you hate President Trump. And currently, the National Guard are on the way to Chicago. If you're not going to protect your citizens, President Trump will.
All right, that's what Pam Bondi's line is today. Your thoughts on Chicago today, Geraldo?
Well, just first on Pam Bondi, who I know pretty well over the years from when she was a state attorney general and a frequent guest on Fox News, a lot of green room chats, and we've talked. She seemed always a reasonable and effective person. The Pam Bondi I saw today was a total political creature. She was insulting. She was arrogant. She was evasive. It was very unattractive to watch. And she attacked the Democrats and made them seem hapless. Dick Durbin, the senator, really, I thought he was mugged. He seemed so traumatized by this event, this confrontation. In terms of the 200 National Guardsmen from Texas, I think it's ridiculous. I think it's really, it's a kind of one-upmanship. They won't come from Illinois, then I'll send them from Texas.
Right.
Right, Greg Abbott? Yeah, right. I think that I saw on another network I was watching this morning where they had a almost live arrest of a couple of guys who were in a coffee shop. They showed their picture on the screen later. They were just two guys who've been there for many years, have jobs, have families, the kids all born here. They were just getting a cup of coffee. They get whammed. They get raided by the ICE task force, thrown into vehicles to be swept away. And the families, I've had friends and friends who've had this experience. The families don't hear from them for days. They don't, get hooked up with their lawyers for days. These are middle-class people,
right,
who have real established lives or who have businesses. And the guy gets a cup of coffee and a piece of pastry, and there's a half a dozen ICE agents treating him as if he's a mass murderer. I think it really is so sad. It is guaranteed to cause conflict and turmoil rather than resolution. This is not making America safe. It demands of America to say, you told us, Mr. President, that you were going after the quote-unquote worst of the worst. The worst of the worst. What is the worst of the worst? Is that the construction worker who's getting a Danish and a cup of coffee? Is that the worst with no criminal record and a family of American children?
I mean, he said it yesterday himself. City by city is what he said. He's going to keep going, city by city.
Well, I Homan, the border czar.
Yes.
One thing that came up in this really distasteful Senate Oversight Committee hearing today was Tom Homan apparently on videotape accepting a $50,000 cash bribe from FBI agents who were participating in a sting. So they have him on video accepting a $50,000 bribe. He was not in government at the time, but he promised in the coming second Trump administration that he would hook them up, with contracts if they presumably paid him something. Todd Blanche, who I think I have a pretty high regard for, the president's lawyer, said that no crime was committed. Okay, let's see the videotape. I assume that the defense is that that's not illegal to hook someone up, to say you're going to hook someone up as long as you obey the ethics laws and the other appropriate legislation and so forth. But I want to see the tough guy revealed as someone getting a bag full of $50,000 in cash. They want to play dirty. Don't you think the Democrats can play just as dirty? I just think that this is going no place. It's certainly not. The border is closed. The president said 4 consecutive months, 0 immigration, border closed. Let's deal with this process, with this problem. It is an issue. Let's deal with the integration of these people or the expulsion of these people in an orderly, democratic, humane way, not with this slapdash. My Johnson is bigger than your Johnson, so I'm going to get Texas. What are you going to do about that?
Now just, the next one and so forth we go. Again, state by state.
What's a kid do?
Right.
What's a kid do? A kid in the civics class. What do they do when they watch them? What is it? I wonder what my teenage daughter thinks when she sees Pam Bondi saying, "I wish you loved Chicago as much as you hate President Trump." First of all, that line is like 100 years old. And
it was definitely well prepared. Yeah, it was definitely she had it ready, that's for sure. Let me run, Geraldo. It's always great to have you on. We'll do it again as the Daily Take tomorrow.
You too, bud.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.